Right, you're under arrest on suspicion of breaching the peace. No, you don't have to say anything but may on your defence if you don't mention one question. Something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. I'll ask you again, can I ask you what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm busy, mate.
Yeah. Can I ask you what you're doing?
I'm piloting an aircraft, mate. You'll have to leave me alone because you're endangering the welfare of an aircraft.
You're filming within a police station. I can't have you doing that.
Why?
Because I can't.
Why not?
So bring it down, or else I just take the device off you. It's up to you.
Well, that's a bit serious, isn't it?
Bring it down now.
I'm bringing it down.
Bring it down now.
Look, I'm waiting for the cars to pass. It's not safe. Whoa, what was that for? What's that for?
At the moment I'm detaining you, potentially, on terrorist offence.
Okay. Am I under arrest?
I've detained you at the moment.
Okay.
What reason are you filming a police station with a drone?
To make a video.
Of what?
The police.
Doing what?
Working.
Elaborate. What do you mean by working?
Just working. Just mulling about. Cars coming and going.
Do you understand that obviously we're on a high risk with the police and people targeting the police?
Not really.
So you don't watch the news? Police officers and police stations get attacked all the time.
When was the last time a police station was attacked? What, just name the last time a police station was attacked.
I'm asking you the questions. You're not asking me any questions.
I know, I'm asking you a question. Whether you answer, that's a different story.
I'm not going to answer.
Well, don't answer then.
News Now was operating a drone legally and responsibly, with the aircraft already in the air. Despite being clearly informed that his actions were creating a safety risk, the officer repeatedly inserted himself into the situation, threatening to grab the controller while the drone was mid-flight. Wasn't law enforcement, it was dangerous interference. Any trained officer should understand that the priority is to allow an aircraft to land safely before taking further action. The exchange then shifted to a familiar justification, claims that police stations and officers are frequently targeted. When News Now challenged that assertion by asking for a recent example, the officer avoided answering. The reason is obvious: there is no factual pattern to support the claim. The UK has not seen recent major attacks on police stations, nor anything that would reasonably warrant treating a clearly identifiable cooperative drone operator as an immediate threat.
Who are you?
Terrorism legislation doesn't give you the right to my name.
Who are you?
Terrorism legislation doesn't give you the right to my name.
No, but if you're committing offences and I don't know who you are,
yeah,
then I can arrest you.
What
and
offences
then
have I committed?
we'll work out at the police station.
What offences have I committed? You're twisting the cuff.
I'm not twisting the cuff at all, I'm just holding it.
What offences have I committed? None.
That's what I'm trying to establish now.
Well, establish that then before you put cuffs on me.
No.
Bloody hell.
I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are.
I can't have you running away.
I don't know who you are.
I'm a police officer, you can clearly see that.
I'm a member of the public, you can clearly see that.
I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are.
If we suspect you committing an offence, we just need to find out who you are.
Yeah, but what offence do you suspect me of committing?
You can't be, it's a restricted area, you can't be flying a drone or... Has you been flying a drone?
Yeah.
Of course I can.
No, you see all this, like, so that shafts from the fence, all
yeah.
from there, so people can't get inside.
Yeah, but you don't own the airspace. Can a plane fly over the top?
That's a little bit different, isn't it?
No, it's not, it's exactly the same.
It is a little bit.
No, it's exactly the same.
Authorisation.
I had authorisation yesterday by the Civil Aviation Authority to fly over Ellen Road, and that's exactly what I did.
The claim about a restricted area is where the argument breaks down entirely. In the UK, airspace isn't governed by individual officers or local police forces, it's regulated at a national level by the Civil Aviation Authority. If drone operations were genuinely prohibited in a specific location, that restriction would be officially designated, publicly published, and legally enforceable under CAA regulations. It wouldn't be declared spontaneously by an officer acting on personal discomfort. What this situation really highlights is a gap in training. Drone operations are now routine, yet these officers appear unclear about where their authority stops, and the CAA's begins. Rather than understanding the regulatory structure who controls airspace, what qualifies as an actual restriction, and what powers police truly have, they fall back on certainty without substance.
Alright, so
you don't need
so you had to have authority to do it?
Over Ellen Road because of the stadium. You don't need the authorisation here.
So you've not contacted anyone from West Yorkshire Police?
Today?
Yeah.
No. You don't need
It would just be an
to.
ideal situation if you were to do that one.
Maybe so, yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Who are
What's your
you?
YouTube?
What's your name?
PC Calvo 5822.
Awesome, I'll be putting a complaint about you.
What's your YouTube account?
I can't tell you that, mate. Not while he's here.
I've just told you who I am. I need to establish who you are.
Well, you won't be.
So cuffs have been applied to prevent your disappearance, which is...
Disappearance for what though? But what do you suspect me of doing?
Potentially committing terrorism offence.
Okay. Well, if you suspect me of committing a terrorism offence, then you should arrest me, shouldn't you? Got HNK solicitors on speed dial, don't we know?
Have you got anything on you that may harm me or my colleagues?
No.
Okay.
And nothing that will let you know who I am either, so you'll be wasting your time.
So what you're telling me that if I were to let you go, you're just going to continue filming with the drone?
That was my plan, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Maybe I'll go sort my wrists out now at the doctors.
At the doctors?
Yeah, because you're still hurting them.
I'm just holding on to them. I don't want you to use them as a weapon.
I'm not going to use them as a weapon. I'm no threat to you.
Point News now is calm, cooperative, and fully restrained. He isn't resisting, behaving unpredictably, or attempting to flee. Under those conditions, the justification for any further use of force should end. Yet the officer continues to handle and adjust the handcuffs repeatedly. When a person is compliant and already secured, physical force no longer serves a safety function. Policing is not meant to involve inflicting discomfort as a form of correction. The situation is made even more troubling by the context. News now is crouched inside the back of a van, eliminating any realistic threat or escape risk. There is no practical reason for continued hands-on intervention. At that stage, manipulating restraints appears disconnected from safety concerns and instead reflects an inability to disengage once control has already been established.
I don't know who you are.
Well,
I'm
trying to alleviate your concerns.
Well, you've told me nothing that
well, I've told you that I'm not a threat.
Alleviates my threat.
I've told you that I'm not a threat. I am allowed to be here. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not committing any offences. I'm trying to alleviate
at
your
the very least,
concern.
you're breaching the peace because
breaching the peace.
There's members of the public that potentially could be in danger with what you're doing.
No one even knew I had a drone there.
Doesn't matter.
Until you tried to hit me with your van and then call me a clown.
If there's no aviation breaches, then we're going to go breach of peace because it's going to continue to do it and potentially put members of the public at harm.
I'm not. I've been trained to fly this drone safely.
You haven't told me who you are, so we can't check you out.
News Now was operating a DJI Mini, a sub 250-gram drone specifically engineered to reduce risk. It's small, lightweight, and routinely flown in public areas under standard conditions. There was no visible panic, no disruption, and no reaction from members of the public. The only claim of danger came from the officer himself. What stands out is the shifting rationale that followed. Rather than responding to a clear, identifiable risk, the officer appeared to move through a series of justifications and concerns. Identity checks, restricted airspace, and ultimately a breach of the peace. That progression suggests the response was neither intelligence-led nor proportionate. Instead, it reflects an attempt to retroactively frame the situation in a way that would support actions already taken, rather than one grounded in an objective assessment of risk at the time.
License to is that what you have?
Yeah.
Okay, is your name on that license?
Potentially,
right. You see where I'm going with this. We just need to kind of identify that you've got a license to be able to do so and so. It's like I'm driving a car. Have you got a license to drive this car? Yeah, that's here. That's my name, right. So that's your name. I can confirm it by picture your license.
But there's legislation involved in driving cars.
Sorry?
There is in flying drones.
So what is it? There's a legislation.
You tell me you're a member of the aviation authority or
I never said that.
And that you've signed up.
I never said that.
You seem to have more knowledge than me.
I do. That is correct.
Oh, you enlighten us then. You educate us.
I don't want to educate you. I charge for my services.
So have you got an operator ID number?
Yes.
And what is it?
Are we talking about terrorism or are we talking about drones?
Talking about drones.
We're talking about drones. So why am I still in handcuffs? If you want to uncuff me and we want to have a conversation, there is,
you're still a threat to me because I don't know who you are.
I'm not a threat to you. I'm not a threat to anybody. It's ridiculous, mate. You come up to me, try to hit me with your van, call me a clown, and then put cuffs on me. Said I was a terrorist. And now you want me to help you out.
I said you were a terrorist.
And educate you.
I said I've detained you
under terrorism legislation.
Believing you potentially could be or committing terrorism.
Right. Well,
offences.
to use terrorism legislation, you have to reasonably suspect that the person you're dealing with is, in fact, a terrorist.
This is the point where HNK appears to gain a decisive advantage, because the officer effectively reveals the contradiction himself. The discussion moves away from terrorism altogether and focuses solely on drone use. And News Now immediately clarifies the issue by asking directly, which concern is actually being addressed? The officer answers, drones. Critical. It removes the only serious justification that had been relied upon to continue the detention. The situation then unravels further when the officer states that he never considered News Now a terrorist. Rather than resolving anything, that statement reinforces the problem. Detention under terrorism powers requires a reasonable suspicion about the individual, not a generalized discomfort about equipment or surroundings. By acknowledging that no such suspicion existed, the officer effectively concedes that the legal threshold for using those powers was never satisfied.
People suspect that I am in fact a terrorist? No. So then take the cuffs
I'm
off
shaking my
me.
head in bewilderment.
Well, why? Because you're bewildered that I know so much about the legislation?
No, you've read something and it's not true.
I've read lots of things on legislation.gov.uk.
Well done. Are you going to give us your name?
Do I have to give you my name?
Yeah, because now you're telling us that you've got something with the Civil Aviation Authority, an ID number, and we need to establish that.
Yeah.
So who are you?
Well, if you knew the legislation, you'd know where to find the ID number, wouldn't you?
The ID number, you need to tell me your ID number and your name, please.
Under what law? Under what law says that I have to do that?
Right, I'm just going to lock him up for breach of peace.
Okay.
Right, you're under arrest on suspicion of breach of the peace.
No
You don't have
problem.
to say anything but may only defensive. Do not mention one question. Something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence.
Okie dokie. So we spoke to H&K solicitors, and they dealt with everything. They literally dealt with everything, guys, and I can't thank them enough for the effort that they put in. £3,500 in compensation, which is absolutely brilliant. And again, a big thank you to H&K solicitors for sorting.
This arrest wasn't really about maintaining public order. It followed the moment, when the weaknesses in the officer's decision-making were exposed, and what came next only reinforces that conclusion. Once News Now escalated the case to HNK, the posture of confidence vanished. There was no courtroom showdown, no robust defense of the officer's conduct as a £3,500 settlement to close the matter quietly. That outcome speaks volumes. Police forces do not pay compensation when they are confident an arrest will withstand scrutiny. Settlements happen when the evidence, the inconsistencies, and the application of powers point toward an outcome they would rather not test in court. This situation never needed to escalate to physical restraint or arrest. A routine drone flight was allowed to snowball into force and detention because decisions were driven by frustration rather than an objective assessment of risk. Each time News Now calmly referenced the legal framework, the response wasn't reconsideration. It was escalation. That pattern matters. Shows the issue wasn't safety or compliance, but an unwillingness to accept challenge or correction. As the encounter unfolded, the legal justifications kept shifting. Drones, restricted areas, breach of the peace, none of them held on their own, so new powers were repeatedly invoked to support earlier choices instead of addressing an actual threat. News Now didn't prevail by provoking or raising his voice, prevailed by remaining consistent, while the rationale for the officer's actions fell apart in real time. In the end, £3,500 settlement doesn't come from the officer personally, it comes from public funds. Money intended for effective policing, proper training, and genuine public safety ends up being used to resolve incidents like this instead. And that, more than anything else, is the real cost of decisions that stray from professionalism and lawful restraint that brings this episode to a close. If you found the analysis useful, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, and help support independent coverage. Be sure to check out News Now Yorkshire as well. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching. This has been Rate the Audit, and I'll see you in the next one.